like to kind of go back to the beginning, go into some stuff a lot of people don't know about you, because I know you have a story of being an overcomer through God. There's a reason behind a lot of what you do, and I'm pretty sure there's plenty that people don't know about you.
My dad and mom got divorced when I was probably going into 5th grade, and up until then, life was good. Not that it wasn't good after, it just changed. So we moved in with my grandmother. So it was my mom, my brothers, and I moved in with my grandmother and my grandpa. And we were kind of raised there, but it was different. My mom started drinking heavily. She really wasn't working like she was before. She kind of was broken after the divorce and never really regained her independence, per se. She was now just kind of drinking. Yeah. And, there was times that I found that bottle in the kitchen cabinet and poured it in a water bottle and took it to school. That was what I thought was cool. So, through time, I found myself, on the other side of addiction. I was addicted to the money portion of it. So I got into the pill mills and the selling drugs. And it was more, I started, smoking pot here and there. And I don't really know what transition. I always wanted to be away from home, right? I never saw the true family values of what I had at home until later in life, when you really realize, like, man, I could have had a good childhood, but I always wanted to be away. I never wanted to be home. So I was in the streets a lot. I would run away, and my brothers stayed home. So I always envied them because they had whatever they wanted. Granny gave them whatever they wanted, So old granny. So they were definitely living a different life. Well, when I started making money, I tried to introduce the life of money to them through drugs, and they took it into another level. So both of my brothers ended up on different spectrums, becoming addicted to, pills, and then it led to further, heroin addiction and basically whatever they could get further in life, which they are both clean and sober now. Amen. To this day, Praise by the grace of God. But that's a big reason as to why I do what I do. A little part of my testimony is I was caught up in some craziness, and I went up and down through life. I knew what I was doing wasn't right. So it'd be like, okay, I need to get it together. I always held down a job and still did that, but that was like my side hustle, So through that, I had a roommate, and my roommate ended up shipping, I don't even remember what the drug was, but something from China to our front door, and my house got raided. So I was actually out of town when that happened. I was traveling in home health, and I was out of town, but all of this happened. Now they go to my job. I had just finished bail bond school, and I really wasn't sure what I was going to do with it in that time. And it was almost kind of like God was like, all right, we're doing away with this and we're entering into this. But I had to go through a pruning process. Like, it terrified me. I almost went to jail. Like, there was a lot of stuff that happened in that time.
So
and
the cops
it was
literally kicked the door in.
Literally. Yeah. Literally. I'm sure my neighbors loved me at that point. So I was definitely at a spot where you want to talk about on your knees, like, okay, God, like, this is a crossroads here. Right before I actually opened the bail bonds office, I had cops in my office. So I was, having to hire attorneys, and it got crazy. And I really believe that it was nothing but the grace of God that opened the doors for me to have this business. And I tell people all the time, this is my ministry, because when people come in, you have family members that are hurting, and I know what they're going through because I've been that family member. I've been that one that's trying to get them into whatever rehab. I've been that one that's been the enabler and learned that I can't be the enabler. Yep. It definitely is a fine line of wanting to love that person and help them, but also wanting to love them enough to not help them with the help that they're wanting, so it's definitely near and dear to my heart to see people get help. And the bail bonds business was the main thing that got me out of the streets. It was now my legal hustle. You know what I mean? So I didn't need that anymore. I had my huge wake-up call with that. And it was like, okay, God, I'm done. And being able to surrender that, those that may not know or know, I'm a huge tither. Giving is my ministry. Like, that's for me. And I gave a big faith offering right before all of this happened. So it was like, okay, wow. God, like, what are we doing here? But I believe my business was built on that faith offering. Amen. And it definitely, through that, like, there was a lot of things I had to overcome. And now I've been in business 10 years with the bail bonds.
Wow, congratulations.
The halfway houses came through coming to meetings with you, and Justin and I actually grew up together. So
Yep.
In high school, he used to work with my mom. So
we heard.
Yeah.
I drank a lot of alcohol with your mom.
Yeah, I bet I did too. So it was definitely, one of those things in life to see Justin go from one extreme to the other. For me, he was like a brother to me, and my mom loved him so much, and Jaden, and just that was her person. Like Justin was her person. So keeping up with him, through life, and then seeing the change. I was at one of the first High on Jesus meetings because it was just all about support, like seeing him do good and being able to, encourage my brothers as much as he did, because at that time they still weren't where they needed to be. And it's just looking back at life, it's just so crazy the things that you go through and to see where you're at today. Like, I'm so super proud of you. And I know people sometimes look at you and they're like, there's no way you used to get high. We have pictures.
Oh, yes. Yes, we have pictures.
It's just one of those things, seeing them come, all of them now come so far, it gives you that want to be able to go back and give back and help people. So people ask me a lot if I am a recovering addict because I have the houses, and I definitely saw the other side of it. I was never an active user to that extent, but I definitely was very much involved in that lifestyle. So
we'd be partying, and Autumn would just be like, she'd just do a little bit and be like, oh, I'm good. I'm like, you're good? I'm like, what are you talking about? We're just getting started. She'd be like, no, I'm fine. I'm good.
Started out that way.
I'm good.
Yeah, I started out that way.
I'm
I'd
not
see him
good.
at the bar and be like, hey, Justin. And he's like, I got to get away from him. Got to get out of here. She's looking at me.
Yeah, exactly. Got to
She
be
knows
at the
I'm
bar,
high.
160 pounds, looking hurting. Probably didn't have anything that night. Yeah.
Yep.
Wasn't good.
No, it's crazy. He actually would have to call other people to get drugs from me because I wouldn't serve him. I'd be like, no, Justin, you need to do good. So he would have somebody else call me to.
I'm impressed. She putting it all out there today. I'm like, they're like, oh, you can call Autumn. I'm like, I can't. She won't give me anything. Like, you gotta call her.
And don't tell her it's for me.
Yeah, don't say it. We're together.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is
Drop
life,
me off
though.
around the corner, swing back through.
It's exactly what happened. I'm glad you knew.
This is life. This is life.
Been there.
Yeah,
Exactly
but
what
then
happened.
seeing, where he's at today, I'm super proud of him. Super, like,
Thank you.
So proud. But it's through those times that we are able to relate to other people. I am able to relate to these family members that come into the bail bonds office. I am able to offer people to go into a halfway house and make a change, because when they get out of jail and they come into my office, they have nothing else to go but back to where they came from. What's going to happen? Same people, places, and things. Yep. So being able to team up with you guys and being able to give people an opportunity to make a change is where my heart's at. I know a lot of people look at me and they're like, oh, she's all about the money or this and that. That's the last thing I ever want to portray, because I definitely, my heart is seeing people get saved. It's terrifying. Like, you talk about the amount of people that we've seen that didn't make it. It's scary. And it scares me that people that we know are still living that life.
Yep.
And as much as I can do to be a support, a phone call, I tell people, I pray with people all the time in my office. And I tell these people, like, if you need to talk to somebody, please call me, please. Like, I will pray with anybody at any point in time, because it is so important to see people get help out here.
Absolutely.
It's scary.
So fast forward a little bit. So I know my story intertwines with yours a bit, because I was at the very last time, I was my tail end of like being on the streets, the whole nine. You actually hunted me down, which you're probably pretty good at with the bail bonds. And so you found me and was like, hey, mom's in hospice. She may be going here soon. I don't care what you're doing or what condition you're in. I want you to come see her. And I believe you had set up a time and a place to meet you. I didn't have a phone. I didn't have anything. I got some money in my pocket. I took off. I didn't show up. I think you tried to pin me down again. I didn't come through. So then afterwards I got arrested. And then my version of it is one night, and I'm a phenomenal sleeper, man. I never have trouble sleeping, especially not in jail. One night I couldn't sleep. Like, I kept waking up over and over again. And I think my mom finally accepted a phone call or two from me at that point, because I've been there for a minute. She was like, hey, I got something to tell you. Autumn's mom, Terry, died last night. And I was like, oh, man. And like, that actually was like an integral part of my recovery, because like in that moment, it like allowed me to see how selfish that I had been this whole entire time, and that I didn't care about anybody or anything but me and getting high and putting that above, anything, man. And so that like really hit me, and I had time to like, meditate on that, or like, you tried to come get me. I couldn't even show up for this lady that like loved me more than anything because all I cared about was myself and getting high, and so I don't know, that really hit me quite a bit. And then another God thing, so it's a VOP, you don't know when you're getting out. They finally say roll them up. Part of why I do hand up the victory, I'm walking out of that walk of shame with no money, no car, no phone, no place to go, no family and friends are done, no one wants anything to do with me, and I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? And I get all the way to the end and I hear Justin, and I turn around and Austin's sitting there in his car. Just happened to be there.
It's my little brother.
Yeah, sorry.
Not this one.
Yeah, so my bad.
Not Austin with the Y.
Austin with an I. So you have two brothers, Austin and Toby. So yeah, thank you for helping me out with that. So one of her brothers just happens to be sitting in that little pickup spot at the end of the Manatee County Sheriff's Office jail, and it's like, hey, I'm just happen to be here trying to pick up my girlfriend when she's getting out. Great thing I ran into you. Mom's funeral is tomorrow. I was like, oh man. So like, I was like, I gotta go to this. This is my time to make up for all this. So I walk in 160 pounds, all disheveled, some crappy outfit, I'm sure. But I go in and it was like, 150 people in the funeral. And it was like the pastor there, Pastor Mark, he was just like speaking directly to me, man. And that funeral allowed me to get the mentorship that I needed and have people in my life to help me to move forward. So like really your mom was an integral part of my recovery and why I do what I do today. But maybe you can speak a little bit on that for people that have lost family members and loved ones and how hard that was to navigate.
Well, Pastor Mark was a huge part of my life at that point as well. I was on a very spiritual high, and it allowed me to be able to navigate my mom, she had a tumor on her brain that ended up being cancer. So she was in hospice for a while. So we had a lot of time to really prepare and to be there with her. The job that I had, I was able to work from home and be, with her a lot. And, I actually had a friend that was on the phone with me when she passed, and we were in intercessory prayer. Like I was really for me, I was at my faith was in such an amazing place that it was just, I knew that she was at peace. I knew that God had her, and I was able to walk through that in a whole different level than a lot of people might be able to. So, my brothers were in active addiction in that time. So that was hard, opening a box up and finding needles in hospice. There was a lot that was going on through that, but still being able to just be by her side and be able to be in intercessory prayer and just cover her, because I knew she had been baptized, but through her addiction, there was a lot of things you wonder, is she going to make it to heaven? Is she, and so being able to be at peace and being able to be in the point of ministry with Mark and Jackie that had me in a whole different headspace during that time. It helped so much, because you can go one of two ways with that stuff, and it can really put you in a depression. But I was very different level through. I look back at it still now, because with my grandmother's recent passing, it hit me, I feel like, on a different level. So trying to replay how to get in a different headspace with all of that, because God can do it, getting into scripture and knowing what his word says can really give you comfort. But us here on earth, you don't want to see them go. We're selfish, but that was, and it was right before.
I want to take a minute here and give a huge shout out to our business sponsors, Automatic Bail Bonds. We bail your tail out of jail with a quickness. Big shout out to them for being a huge supporter of what we do here. If you, your loved one, anyone, we don't wish it on you, but if someone does go to jail, Autum and her team, they actually care about the people that they help to bail out. So please use them. They're a huge asset in this community. Journey to Great Greatness Sober Living Homes, preparing you for your new journey of life and beyond. They have a multiple men's and women's homes in Manatee County. And so if you're looking for a sober living house, or maybe your loved one, someone that you know, get in contact with them. All the links are below in our comments, guys. Also, Florida Elite Monitoring. They do ankle monitors and also alcohol level tracking with confidence. So maybe they're court-ordered to get an ankle monitor, or maybe they voluntarily want to be able to show the judge, hey, I'm not drinking, I'm not doing anything like that. They have all kinds of neat ways that they can help you out with some things. And then Dump Dynasty. You give them a call, they will pull up the trailer to your house. You can clean out your garage, remodel, whatever it is, fill that dumpster up, and then they take it away for you. No hassle on your end. So those are 4 different business sponsors and just businesses in the community that care and they want to make a difference.
I went into bail bonds. I think I had just finished school around that time when she had passed and stuff. So I hadn't transitioned. I was still working for the other company. It was before my house got raided and all that craziness. But I was just in a different spiritual headspace. So it really made things flow differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It's awesome you were able to get through that. And yeah.
Just listening, because I mean, a few episodes ago, I can't remember which one off the top of my head, but you were talking about that moment and how that led, because we had went to Anchor Church where Mark and Jackie are now.
Yep.
And now hearing the other side, it just to see how like God intricately weaves those people in our lives.
Don't do it. Don't make me cry. I'm
Absolutely.
I can't look at it. No.
Absolutely.
But
it's not easy to go through those things, and we're going on 11, 12 years now.
That's about how long you got now, right?
Yep.
Because that was the beginning,
Yep.
wasn't it?
Yep. So it's just really cool to see how things, you can have a chapter ending, but a chapter beginning, and was a huge, I love that my mom was a huge part of his testimony because she's able to live on through him. And
Absolutely.
That's just a huge blessing to me.
Oh, amen.
For sure.
Well, thank you for sharing all that with us. Now I'm sure everyone gets a deeper understanding as to why you do what you do, and you have actually a heart and purpose in the businesses that you started. Austin came up with some great questions for you here for some of these businesses.
Well, I started just something funny real quick. So like as a bail bondsman, I'm sure that people, I mean, I had to bail out, but I don't remember, mine praying with me in the office. But I bet people are like, I promise I'm going to do this. Do you get a lot of people promising like...
On the other end of the jail phone call, I promise I will get out and I will bring you the money. I promise.
So
I want to come into your halfway house and I want to do the right thing. I promise.
So is it a promise like Jesus is coming back promise, or like I'm going to start my diet on Monday promise? Like which one is it?
Well, I feel like each of them are different, and sometimes you get a discernment of somebody that you may be willing to. This is why I'm horrible at this sometimes, because in the very beginning, I listened to every promise, and I wanted to help everybody.
Help everyone. You are super nice for that.
I'll tell you guys a quick story. The one guy,
This is what I wanted.
The one guy I bonded out. I promise. My card is at the gas station right by my house. They hold it for me. So if you get me out, I'm going to go straight there and I'm going to pay you. It's a little old man, guys. I really felt bad for him.
Were you driving him to the gas station, or you were just trusting that he was going to go?
I'm pretty sure I picked him up. Maybe I didn't pick him up. Honestly, it's been 10 years now. I just remember, the part of the story I remember is him getting out and never paying me, of course. So it's these little trailers over off of like 9th Street, and there's a store over here with a tree, okay?
Boy.
So I go knocking on his door because I'm going to get my money. I'm upset. And
Because you promised.
You promised that you were going to do the right thing, and now here we are. So I'm knocking at his door. It's like a rooming house trailer, right? So they're like, oh, he's across the street at the store. So I find him underneath the tree, smelling like pee.
Oh, no.
And now I have to get him and put him in my car and take him back to jail because obviously he doesn't have the money to pay me. So I'm not going to keep, because what happens in bail bonds, if you get somebody out, not only is it the 10% that they pay, but they're also a liability now for whatever amount that bond was. So now you have to go back to jail because I don't want to stay on this liability.
Right.
So the poor little old man, he stunk so bad.
Oh,
I put him in my car
Did
and
he
I took him back,
recognize you?
and it was cold, and I gave him a sweater. And now I never wanted the sweater back after that. He kept the sweater and went into the jail with it. But I learned very quickly that I promise from the other end of the jail phone is probably not a good idea.
And what's hilarious, because been there for some of the calls, like Autumn knows everybody in Bradenton. They're like, oh, we used to go to school together. Come on, Autumn, hook me up. Like,
She's like,
No, we're
and
not
that's a
doing
no
that.
for me.
My office constantly is like, this person called and they said they know you.
Tell them I say hi.
They only want to talk to you. They get so annoyed. They only want to talk to you, so you need to call them
of
back.
course.
That's funny.
Can you please?
Just
You
tell her
can
it's
take me. You can take me to my house. My check comes on the 1st. I promise.
every month.
Goodness.
I can see you doing that on the end of the phone. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
And of course, I'm not. I can pray with you.
Yeah.
Let's pray.
Let's pray that it's there, and you can have someone else bring it to me. But
Goodness.
through all of this, is that the craziest story of bailing someone out, or do you have like a top?
A top 3?
One of my favorite ones that my family likes to tell is when I tased myself.
No.
Yep.
No.
I was chasing a girl in the woods, and I went one way, and my office went the other way, and I slipped. My taser was in this hand, and when I slipped, I grabbed a branch with this hand, so I squeezed the trigger, and I thought I got bit by a snake over here.
Oh, my.
Because
You
it's
never heard the
prongs.
story.
It's not just a zzz, it's a prong that goes in and hooks like a fish hook. So now I'm like, I can't walk back up because now they've got her, right? She's in custody, but now I have a
That's a win.
taser hanging out of my arm. So
That just keeps shocking you, or just shocks
no.
once?
Well, it took a second, right? So it was the initial hook in me, and then so at first I thought I got bit, and then it's the, luckily it wasn't both prongs, because the way they work is when you shoot both, it's the electrical current that goes through. So it was just one. And so now I have to pull this thing out before I walk over here in front of this girl in handcuffs and all these people, because there's now people. So I actually have pictures. I'll see if I can find it. You guys can play it.
Yes.
You can put it. And I'm literally holding a paper towel and dabbing where I'm bleeding.
Like that branch got me.
Thanks, snake.
I'm sure she went back to jail and told everybody the bondsman just tased herself chasing her. I'm sure.
Oh, thank you.
That's probably my favorite of the stories.
That's awesome.
That's good. So I guess bail bondsmen can be seen as somewhat controversial. What are some of the common misconceptions that you think people have?
Yeah, there's
about
some that are shady out there from what I heard.
Well, I mean, you hear like all the passion behind what you do. And I've been on that jail phone and listened to, I can't remember her full name, but her name was Christy, I know that. But she literally, there's a list of all the bail bondsmen, and you're automatic, so you're probably one of the top on the list if I remember properly.
That was smart.
Very smart. All of your names for your businesses are quite smart. What, I just lost it.
So one of the misconceptions.
Okay.
As far as controversial, I mean, there's no bail acts. There's a lot of stuff going on in Congress with different things. I try not to feed into it. But one of the biggest misconceptions I get is when people are done with their bond, they call me and they think that they get their money back. So it's, hey, my case is closed. I'd like to come pick up my money. I'm like, did you put collateral? Because that happens, right? You can pay full collateral if you're in jail and you have nobody assigned for you. You can pay your full collateral. So did you put down collateral? No. Well, how much did you pay? The $100 or, whatever it is. I'm like, well, unfortunately, that's our fee for doing the bond.
So they think it's just like a 10% down. So for those of you that don't know how it works out there, when the jail sets the bond, let's just use round numbers, it's a number that's $10,000 bond, then they have to call you, give you 10%, which is $1,000, and then you take the liability, you take the risk of getting them out of jail, hoping that they're going to go to their court date, and then at that time, you get the money back, and then that's your fee, is the 10% fee,
So
right?
I don't get any money back. So the $10,000 is posted as a bond. Okay, so it's just a piece of paper. So it's my promise to the courthouse that if this person doesn't show up for court, I either bring them in or I pay that $10,000.
Okay.
So the $1,000 is our fee for doing the bond. There's other fees that come out of that on the back. People are like, you keep the whole $1,000. There's stuff that comes out of that operation costs of things that get paid elsewhere. But the biggest thing is people. I need that $1,000 back.
Like a savings account. Like
that was just a down payment. Now that I did what I need to,
I work for free.
Back.
You know,
we don't get paid
for doing this. You can have it back.
I took the entire bus risk for nothing for you.
So we get that a lot, where people, and we even explain it like in the paperwork, like this amount you paid is non-refundable. This is our fee for doing the bond.
Yeah, like you can go pay the $10,000 yourself, right? If you want to. Yeah,
absolutely.
Down there.
They just take fees out of it.
If you got money sitting cash, but most people do not.
You absolutely can. Right? So that's one of them. And then the other one that I get a lot is, are you a bounty hunter? Are you a bounty hunter? So
Autumn the bounty hunter.
Yes.
Technically.
Dog sister with the taser.
I tell people I'm Beth. You see the nails? I'm Beth. In the state of Florida, it's illegal to bounty hunt. Okay, so there are other states that you can be just a bounty hunter. That's what you do. You go find people, you hunt people, you are a bounty hunter, like dog. Okay, in the state of Florida, you have to be a licensed bondsman to do pickups. So I can't say Autumn the bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Like it's illegal. Like I can do those things. I have arrest rights, but only if I bonded you out. So people think like, oh, you're the police, you know? No. I would much prefer to get people out of jail, but the only time I can legally arrest somebody is if they are on bond with me.
Gotcha.
So it's a little different than
So you can't get
think.
someone else's bond. That's on their responsibility.
So if they're under the same insurance company. So some of us that work together on pickups will be insured under multiple insurance companies so that way we can do pickups for each other.
Gotcha.
But you have to be, because it's Florida is very regulated. It's very much, you have to follow the law. So.
Well, thank you for explaining that.
Of course.
I learned something.
Yes, I did too. So how do you approach work in a way that supports justice and rehabilitation?
Well, I just look at everybody like I would look at my family, you know? So it's very important when somebody comes in the door, I am not worried about what your charge is. I see a lot of things. It's not my role to be the judge here, judge, jury, any of it.
Yeah.
I'm just here to be your bondsman, to encourage you along the way, whatever support that we can give, and love on them. You know, people look at that, you bonded out that sex offender, you bonded out that person, and that can be tough. I had to make a decision very early on of whether I was going to deal with those type of people or not. But I don't feel like I'm the one that can judge that. You know, there are people that can make accusations that are false accusations that can ruin somebody's life. I'm not the one that needs to be the judge of that. If they have the appropriate collateral to be able to get out and the funds that they need, by all means, that's where our ankle monitors can come in too. You know, if it's a certain amount that we don't have enough, that we can place an ankle monitor and help them to get approval to get out. But it's one of those things that I can't judge them. I want to be able to be that encouraging light to somebody in a time that they're going through things, you know, going through the Old Testament in the Bible and reading some of the things in David and seeing like how God is able to forgive some horrendous things definitely places my mental state differently of looking at people. They don't need another person judging them when they come into my office. So
that's good.
Good stuff. Thank you.
So you know that Journey to Greatness is near and dear to my heart. It changed my life. What are some of the challenges and the victories that you've seen while running the men's and the women's house?
I got one. Bed bugs.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, he said it.
Don't get me started. So,
I will say I see a lot of bed bug action, unfortunately, in many sober living homes, and you are one of the people that go above and beyond to pay whatever it costs to get them eliminated in the proper way. So I will say kudos to you for being honorable enough to do that.
These are my houses, right? So if I am living, I put myself in if I'm staying here, I don't want to live in a place that has bed bugs or roaches or bugs. You know what I mean? So
I'm itching right
absolutely.
now. I think they're on me.
So those of you that know me, that when we've had to deal with this stuff, I've literally spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
I can tell you, when I was managing the house, one client came to me and was like, I found a bed. I think I was on the phone, and not 30 minutes later, a previous employee from Hand Up to Victory was like right there, and one of your previous employees was like right there to check on it.
Yeah.
Like there was no playing around with it.
Yeah.
And I hear stories of it, and I'm not here to judge any of their houses, but I do hear stories of it being a very, whatever. Well, it is what it is. We have
They
them.
bring them in with them so they can live with
Put a little
it.
roach spray. We'll call today.
Yeah,
But for me, it's just, that has been honestly one of my biggest
hurdles.
It's hard because then you're treating it and then they can come back. And it's not something that you can just do a one-time fix. It's like a constant, replacing and making sure we have bed bug covers on everything and making sure that everything is secure to not, but the biggest part is having amazing house managers that are able to manage that stuff. Because guys,
that's huge.
I have a lot of businesses, but I couldn't do any of this without the people that I have that support me and my employees and the bail bonds and, the house managers and the team that we have to be able to make sure that all of these pieces work together correctly, because it's hard.
Yep.
It's
have
hard.
to have a team.
You do. And that's, so some of my success stories is definitely, you are a huge success story, Austin. Like seeing where you came from and being able to be where you're at today. Like I'm just so proud of you. Not trying to get teary because I'm gonna look away from you, but seeing where you've come. April too. Like just seeing, Brian. The list goes on. There's Rico. There's so many people that I have seen. From just like watching Justin, you see them at their worst, and then to see them at where you guys are at now, it's just so heartwarming. Now, do we have the ones that keep falling and hitting their head? And, yes, it's going to happen. Yeah. But I also saw that throughout my entire life with my family. So I know that we're planting a seed. So faith as small as a mustard seed, that's all that it takes. And eventually they're going to get to that point. So if we are a stepping stone along the way to help people get to where they need to be, like that's ultimately my goal. Through everything that I do in my life, whether it's work or just my personal life, I want to see people succeed. I want people to be able to grow, because I was there. I was in that situation. I have seen my brothers in halfway houses. So do I want to provide the best one possible? Absolutely. Now we have struggles along the way. I rent. I don't own the houses. So sometimes it's a little more difficult to keep things structurally the way that I would like. If I had millions of dollars, absolutely, we would have the brand new top of the line houses. But we do the best that we can, and I try the best to like really make an impact in people's lives.
And
thank you.
And you've had several, I've experienced it when I was house manager and even working through Hand Up to Victory. There's clients that have made a bad decision while still in the house. They go fix it, and then you just welcome back. So you just show so much grace and forgiveness and second chances even within the home, and it's just great that you guide them through
again, through the Bible. I see it. You see it time and time and time again. So who am I to be like, no, you messed up one time, there's no going back from that. I want to see people succeed.
The pain of waiting, we have unanswered prayers.
And not just be so much of self, because I can stay real busy and then when I need something, ask for help.
Is it in God's timing, or is it even in God's will?
If this would have been going on a year ago, I'd have been a mess.
Not right now, and I don't think it's going to happen.
I've been praying to lean more into God. Why haven't I gotten answers? And everybody got popcorn.